Howdy, this is Andy with Family History Fanatics, and today we are going to answer one of your DNA questions. It says, I have two men that could be my dad. They are, as it turns out, ninth cousins. I have xDNA matches to one man's grandmother and a couple with the other. Most of the xDNA matches with the second man are because they have intersecting surnames. Does that prove a paternal line? And what's odd is that I am matching both men as far as relatives go, as if both could be my dad. Is there a way to tell for sure, or could this really be a very odd thing where both are my biological dad? Also, why do xDNA matches share less autosomal than non? Okay, so let's go with the easy ones first. Could this be a very odd thing where both are my biological dad? No, because you can't have two biological dads. Now, if you remember earlier, we did talk about a situation where you could have two people who are identical twins be treated as if they were one person. So if these two men were identical twins, then yes, you wouldn't be able to tell which one was your dad. That is true. However, since you say that these two are ninth cousins, I'm going to make the assumption that they are not twins, identical twins. Now, most of what Lindsay's saying here has to do with xDNA, and it sounds like that's just what's being compared. And so even identical twins should have identical xDNA. They shouldn't have it just matched in different ways. It should all be identical on that full chromosome. Now, if you were doing that, I'm assuming also then that this person is looking through GEDmatch, because that's the only one that actually looks at xDNA and matches with that. Well, Lindsay can be a boy's or a girl's names. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. If Lindsay is a girl, then she should match her dad directly on the xDNA because he only has one X chromosome to give to her. Okay. If Lindsay is a boy, he should not match his dad because he gave him a Y chromosome. So it should be all or nothing. If the xDNA with Lindsay is anything but all or nothing, then neither one of these are her dad. And that's just looking at the xDNA. Okay, just looking at the xDNA. If you're a girl, you're going to match your dad 100% on your xDNA because you're only looking at one chromosome. And if you're a boy, you're going to match your dad at 0% on the xDNA because of that. It is possible if your dad and your mom are somewhat related, and I'm not sure what the relationship would be, but I would guess third cousins, maybe fourth cousins or closer. It is possible that you might share a segment with your dad if you're male, if you're male on that Y-DNA. But for girls, you will share that entire X chromosome. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would be checking there. If you're not doing that, then neither one of these are. Most of the xDNA matches with the second man are because they have intersecting surnames. Does this prove a paternal line? No, I would say it doesn't. What really should be done is if you're looking at GEDmatch, because you're looking at this xDNA, then you really should just be doing an autosomal check between these two men and yourself to see which one is your biological father, if that's what you suspect. Because if one of them is, you're going to match on every single chromosome. All 22 autosomal chromosomes, you're going to match fully, not fully. You're going to have a half match on all of those. If you are segmented at all, this person is not your father. Okay. And so that's really what you should be doing if you're doing that. Also, why do xDNA matches share less autosomal than non? Well, this is a case of how xDNA is passed on. It is actually more likely that you can, and it is, how to put it, after all of the autosomal DNA has been segmented down to where it's not a match anymore, you can still have significant chunks of xDNA because it passes through this mother line, which gets recombined, or a father line to girls, which does not get recombined. And so what it may look like is it may look like your xDNA matches share less autosomal than non, but remember there, you're taking out all of the paternal sons that don't share any X, so they're never going to show up as an xDNA match that may be having more. But that's why it does, is because how xDNA is passed down is different than how your autosomal DNA is passed down. That is all for today. Thank you all very much for coming, and I hope that you enjoyed this and maybe learned something about this. Feel free to continue to ask questions in the comment section of any of our videos. And if you'd like to watch the full video, a link is in the description.